Channel Alex Ned too. It's been a while here, actually more than a year here on NASCAR Heat 5. I'm here tonight on an exciting night because we have two leagues going head to head on NASCAR's biggest stage. I have a bunch of drunks racing here versus throttle control racing, 20 guys all with one goal to try and get their team into victory lane here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Want to go over the rules with you here tonight because they are different than what we would expect both in traditional league racing and in real NASCAR Cup Series racing. Tonight, we will have a 25% race with caution flags on. However, you will not be allowed to pit underneath the yellow flag. That means if a caution flag does come out, the guys will not be able to take any assist as far as taking tires or fuel during the caution flag. You must make green flag pit stops all night long, and I believe that strategy is really going to come into play during the last stage. We will have stage racing. The first stage will be 14 laps. The second stage will be 12 laps, and then the final stage will be a battle to the end. But if a caution flag does come out, and we have some people that have perhaps pitted versus people that have not pitted, that's going to be a big play because you might go a lap down going on a green flag pit stop versus other guys that have already had their pit stop out of the way. So that's something tonight that we will be talking about. I say we. It is just me up in the booth here, but I'm so glad to have the trust of these guys tonight because tonight is a great night, and I'm excited to see what will happen here with this league. Again, it's a bunch of drunk racing versus throttle control racing here on NASCAR Heat 5. We're just moments away, so we're going to wait a little bit as they get the lobby set up. Again, Talladega Super Speedway here, 47 laps, the lap count here tonight. And I'm just moments away from receiving the invite. In fact, I can join right now. So here we go, guys. I'm excited to see what will happen, and I will bring you all the coverage here tonight as I prepare to bring you this race live on NASCAR Heat 5. Prepare to connect to the exit. This was all a race where qualifying was not needed. So these guys basically have one goal and one goal only to win. This is our first showdown race between these two leagues, and my first time actually broadcasting it by myself. So bear with us as we get everything underway and up to speed here. We will join these guys in motion here on the first lap. Again, the first stage will be 14 laps. They will need to make a green flag pit stop, and strategy will definitely be here at play. Man, the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway, it doesn't get any more exciting than this. We are keeping an eye as they already off and up to speed here. Chastain on the inside leads 20 guys down the backstretch, getting up to speed here. We'll be able to delegate who's on what team, but these guys don't let that fool you here. They might be teams, you might have two leagues, but everybody is going to be out for blood and out for themselves here when the checkered flag is at stake. You can see that inside line really right now bottled up in tight formation that allows these guys to stay tight and form a pack and get a draft that will allow these guys to perhaps get faster speed than those guys versus on the outside. You see that outside lane is actually hanging really tough with the one car here. And forgive me as I bounce around here and figure out these guys' names. I don't know everybody's strategy as of yet, or everybody's numbers as of yet. But currently right now we see the 77, the Ross Chastain machine. That is Fred Chastain, FM Chastain, doing a great job leading this field. Lap number 2 in the books. It'll be lap 3 underway, and you can see already that inside line really will have the advantage so far, but I do expect to see guys migrate to the high side and get around that 77 car, especially if you're on the other league's team. I don't know why you would just want to try and sit around here. That's not what this type of racing is known for, and that's not what these guys in these two leagues want to put on. So right now, the 77 car leading up front. You see the 5 car right behind him. BDR outline in that outside lane. He was that control car, but he is backed up all the way, basically outside of the top 10. So he's looking for some running room here. Here goes some further commotion up front. You saw somebody poke out a line. I believe it was the 19. Excuse me, it was the 3 there. Help from the 24 car. And we're going to see that outside line have more numbers jump up. And you see the 3 car there, the 32 and the 7, they got disconnected. Now look at the run. Those bow ties having that outside line. We are going to have a lead change here. And just like that, the outside line becomes the control line. And Chastain is in the rear view mirror of the 3 car and the 24. See 77 actually switch lanes. He'll jump up high. Let's see if we can go. See who led that outside lane. It was Cap. Another one of those TCR, Throttle Control Racing, help from the 24 car, and I see the 37 as well. We have lap number 4 coming to lap 5 to go. You see 3 wide mid-pack, but Cap, I have raced with Cap before, and he is adamant about using that outside lane. He's really, really good. The question remains, though, these guys, there's a lot of speed, I've often been told, about using that outside line, but if you nip the wall, it can all fall apart in a very big way. You saw now what looks like a 6-car draft, a 3-car. Now he'll migrate to the bottom of the racetrack, and he'll drag everybody with him. TCR so far has led the most laps here tonight. That 24 car right behind him, and the 37, the top 3. See Tristan Dobbs there in the 9 car trying to work out. Look, let's ride on board and see what they see. Working 5, lap 6 again. Something to keep in mind, these guys will have to make a green flag pit stop if a caution flag does come out. Those that are on pit road, when the caution flag comes out, will be a big factor here. We often talk about the wreck that happens getting onto pit road. It happens in real life. It happens in esports life. I don't know what NASCAR was thinking about when they decided, hey, let's have 200 miles an hour. Hey, we're going to put a pit road speed down to 55. It often results in a lot of wrecked race cars and someone's hurt feelings. Hopefully it won't happen here tonight, but if we do have a caution flag, you see the 42 car there get stuck in the middle. That inside line strong, now single file most of the field. If we do get a caution flag, the cars that are on pit road before that caution flag comes out, they will be excused. So you can be on pit road if the caution flag comes out. The guys that are not on pit road, that's when we're going to have a problem. That's when strategy is going to play out, because those guys, as agreed upon by the captains of both teams, who could not make a pit stop underneath the yellow flag. Wow, look at that run by Jeezy in that 00 car, putting Landon Castle's name. That was a big run. My goodness. I would go to replay. He passed 6 or 7 cars. That's just something we just don't talk about or see here on NASCAR Heat 5. This is a custom race, so all these guys are releasing custom race setups. They've all been practicing and massaging their setup to make sure they can get the most both out of speed and out of the tires there. You saw a 32 car with a bobble, but that 00 car in a class of his own, that's something that we will be keeping an eye on, as he and the 5 almost making contact through the tri-oval. I often call that could be the most treacherous part of this racetrack. And wow, the 5 car, he'll get to the bottom. Now we see as we ride on board with the 9, Tristan. He's on the outside, and this is where you hear that beep, beep, beep noise. He is backing up. He is in the wrong lane. No drafting out. That is exactly what will happen to you. You'll get dropped in a hurry. Thankfully, stages are on, and we've only, I believe, of the 20 cars that are on track, we only have 1 car that has lost the draft. You see who's that in the way back. Let's see. Cornbread right there in the 4 car. Somebody has indeed lost the draft. It's 18. Cooler than ice, unfortunately, in that 18 for Kyle Busch. Not having a good day. Kyle Busch does have 1 win. It came back here in 2008. Well over a decade ago there. He'll need help in order to get caught back up in this one. Let's migrate back up front. You saw action picking up the 1 car in the middle and the 2 car to the outside using that extreme high lane. But again, no drafting help. Really not seeing these guys get connected as much as I would have thought here with how these guys were racing earlier today to practice for this race. So I am, excuse me guys, I apologize for that. We have green flag pit stops taking place. You see Cooler Than Ice and the 3-car on pit road. Now everybody else is going to be on pit road. Slamming into the inside is Spongy, using that to make sure they get down to 55 miles an hour. Looks like they all will do so. No yellow flag there, but it is grueling. Now this lead pack led by the 24-car Man of Steel, they're going to put the 18-car 1 lap down. And this pack has changed. During now, green flag pit stops are all at stake. This second pack will need to come in here, and we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully no speeding penalties were given. Again, my mistake. My mic did die right there, so had to go and grab the charger real quick. It's one thing that I forgot, but you see the 24 car leading the 37. There's been no change up front. Really interesting strategy by the 18 and the 3. We saw Cap decide not to go out. Now they're all going to spread out. Looks like TCR will stay out another lap with the 77 car in the wall. Heading down pit road. Looks like damage is not on. I believe that was the 4-car Cornbread with a big miscue. Heading on to pit road. You can see, unfortunately, action is picking up all over the place. We see Antwolf in the 13. He is in. Cars that stayed out right there. TCR Man of Steel, Sick Blue, he's also in. Was the 22, so we're going to try and keep an eye on the 22 here. The 24 service is already off and complete. Let's go back to Snowman. Here he is, rounding up the corner. He is now your leader, and he will now go down pit road. Here with the 77 as they break. You can see what green flag pit stops really do here at Talladega Super Speedway. They really spread out the pack. Now it all is the focus on both what adjustments you decide to make and how you got on and off pit road. We saw people use that inside wall. Now, damage is not on. There is no, what do you call it? There is no black flag or penalty that will be assessed for hitting that wall to slow yourself down, but you might lose time, and in losing time, lose touch with your drafting partner. As you see the 77 and the 22, they are off in a way. These are going to be your control cars here. As we get to the end of stage 1, I believe we will only have about 2 more laps to go. Looks like the 43 of Smitty Nuts, I'm just now getting word he has lost connection. That is unfortunate for him. There is the 22 and the 77 Ross Chastain. Here is that big pack that all came down together. We just barely missed. And you can see these guys hooked up. Nose to tail will be no match as the 22 and the 77 car are just now getting up to speed on the backstretch. Look at Man of Steel. He'll move to the outside, and Man of Steel for TCR retaking the lead. The 9 giving a big shove to the 77, a roadblock and almost below the yellow line. Force there as the 24 car will take the lead. On board with Man of Steel there with less than 2 laps to go. Excuse me, Snowman. Car on the wall. There's the 1. Spinning is the 32. Trouble in the back of the pack. Does that trigger the yellow? Cars are crashing in turn 1 hard. More involved. The 22. Excuse me, the 2 with nowhere to go. And I do believe that places us under yellow. Yes, I don't know who sent the 32 there wide, but that is the first caution flag. That will end the stage. I do know that much. So I believe out front was the 24 of Man of Steel for TCR. Throttle Control Racing, 1 point added to their book. See if we can go back up front. Unfortunately, with action everywhere of place, you see the 43 on pit road. 2 car had nowhere to go right there. And unfortunately, there's really just no way to know. But you can pit during the stage breaks. So this will allow these guys to reset themselves, and for the second stage, it'll only be 12 laps. So we've been able to reconnect, regroup, and once again, the fuel window for these guys is about 9 laps. So these guys will need to go down pit road, and also, I'd like to mention this as well, because a lot of people don't know, sometimes you can save on the fuel, but with how NASCAR Heat 5 and real racing in the Cup Series rules regulate, you cannot pit when the leader crosses the start-finish line with 2 to go. So these guys will have to come down pit road before lap 10. If they do go down pit road, they won't be assessed the penalty. As we see the 37 car, Slick Blue, he'll drop to the inside right there. 7 car working that outside lane. If these guys do decide to go down pit road with less than 2 to go, they will be assessed a 15-second penalty. Not enough as we see, contact, both Penske cars out of shape on the backstretch. Looks like Snowman will save it. The 2 car will not. 3 wide up front, Man of Steel in the sucker hole, we often refer to that. And the 2 car bumped out of line. That is unfortunate for a number like Brad Kozlowski, who has won this race. He leads on active drivers with 5 wins. Look at the 7 car, 3 wide as everyone trying to get to the front. Lap 2 of stage 2 underway. See the 48 car, Spongy Man, as well as the 1 car. A lot of shuffling, dicing, slicing and dicing, as I like to refer to it. We see just like we saw in that first stage. And that is Cap, you hear there on my window. I don't know if he is muted on my end, but I can definitely hear him. There are 3 wide. You see Slick Blue there in the middle. Here's GZ to the inside, and Spongy has been able to work that outside line. Now he's 3rd in line behind that Hendrick Motorsport Tristan Dobbs in that 9 car. See BDR outline there. 4 wide there briefly. Somebody didn't get connected and shoved into the wall. Goes Cooler Ice and the 48 of Spongy. Both cars are in the wall in the 9, taking some damage. That does look like it will trigger the yellow for the 2nd time today. So in the wall were the 48 car and the 9 Hendrick Motorsports. Rick Hendrick not having a good day here so far. Don't know what set that off. Now, this is an interesting strategy because now with this yellow flag, they should theoretically be able to make it on fuel. Cap, if you can hear me there, Cap, would like to know how many laps to go next time by, if you can hear me. If you can just give me a lap count coming down next, therefore that will be the best. Okay. Thank you guys to the 6 people that are watching there. I see this has definitely been an exciting race. Now, with that caution flag, again, these guys can't pit, but because the caution flag came out, I don't believe you will need to see a green flag pit stop for stage 2. Alright, so 5 and 13, excuse me, there are 13 laps in stage. So, working lap number 5. We are on board with Chastain in the middle of the pack. Wow! Let's go up front. 6 and 13. No problem. Thank you. Let's go back up front and tell you who that 7 car is. That is Bet. Bringing Justin Allgaier's name to the point. And BDR taking the lead in front of stage 1 winner, Man of Steel, right behind him. A couple of both sides working nose to tail. The 5 car underneath him. 5 car actually might be going down pit road. That's an interesting move, but it could play out for him in case the yellow flag comes out. This will be right on the fuel window for these guys, and if it's 13 laps there, I do believe these guys, you might be able to save some fuel. So this is a very interesting race right now. I would love to know exactly how these guys are trying to save fuel. I know some of the TCR guys, that's something that they practice a lot, staying in line and drafting. When you're behind somebody here at Talladega and Daytona, you use less fuel than the guy in front. See Man of Steel taking the lead on the outside, help from ZZ, that 00 car, and Ant Wolf in that 13. TCR trying to retake control of this race. Halfway this time by in stage number 2. And still 19 cars, with the exception of the 5 who had just went down pit road. 19 cars inside this lead pack. Covering the length of a football field a second. You see the 5 car there just out of frame. Man of Steel up front, continuing to lead the most laps for TCR. However, he is using the most fuel. That is the storyline that we will follow. Look at Slick Blue in that 37 car. He'll go to the outside. The guys that are in the back of the pack, they are saving the most amount of fuel right now. So look for these guys to try and stretch it to the end. I would be very surprised if somebody wanted to go down pit road there early. The 5-car must have thought he might not have been able to make it there. So, however, his green flag pit stop is out of the way. He will be the only car one lap down when this pack does, unfortunately, inhale him, because 19 cars, as you can see, even at a pack, screaming at over 200 miles an hour, are going to be way faster than the lone number of by himself. You see, in the wall goes Twisted Dot and Jeezy in the back of the pack there. Oh, and they're spinning! Spongy back into the wall! That was a single car incident. That might not be enough to trigger the yellow flag. Caution flags are on relax. The 48 car is still stuck. Now the 7 car, Bet, he got shoved out of the way by the 88. Continuing to migrate to the back of the pack. And that's going to be unfortunate. That 48 car, he'll need to get going. And trying to keep in touch with everybody's strategy call there. That 40 car doesn't want to go a lap down, because then he and the 5 car will have to fight for that position there if we only have one guaranteed caution flag at the end of this race. And you don't want to be the guy on a lap down, or who's not the first car a lap down, if that does indeed happen. Look up front, Cooler Than Ice and Slick Blue, nose to tail, have been able to draft around and get the lead as the 24 car's falling back. Side-by-side battle for third place in the 18 car. He had contact! Big crash out of turn number 4. Ant Wolf is in it. Vet as well. And stuck to the infield there was, I don't know what set that wide, but looks like we stay under the green flag. That will be disastrous. It has dwindled this lead pack down to just 7 or 8 cars. And some of the heavyweights, Ant Wolf, I know was involved in that. Jeezy as well. That's what happens. This 2 and 3 wide racing, it's frantic, it's intense, it looks great. It's what you want as a fan, but as a driver, as a competitor, there are some hot drivers right now in that wreck that were involved, and unfortunately the yellow flag not going to save them for this one. Jeezy and the 42, these guys are going to go down pit road, and I'm not so sure that some of these guys that decide to go down pit road, I believe we might have some people that try and stretch it out here. So this is going to be very interesting indeed. Some of these people might be a lap down. However, you can pit underneath the stage break, and that might be enough to save some of these guys. Perhaps they decide to stay out and keep their hopes alive, at least being on the lead lap for stage 3. We'll keep an eye on it. Hard-headed mofo there. Tail end Charlie of the lead pack now, as the 5 has been inhaled. He is the first car we know that is 1 lap down. Whoa, big run to the inside. And the 5 car, hang on there. He was slideways right there. That's not a good feeling at over 200 miles an hour entering turn 1. TCR Snowman as well. In fact, these guys, their side-by-side battle. Ooh, might be some bad blood between the 22 and the 1. I don't think they like each other at all right there. That's down the straightaway, no less. See the BDR outline and Cooler Than Ice. Is he out of gas? No, he's going to go down pit road here. As well as the 88 of Hard-Headed. These guys cannot make it on fuel. Somebody was a late entry. I think the BDR outline definitely going to be assessed a pit road speeding penalty on that. There is no way he got on pit road without that. And I believe the caution flag is out. So that has changed everything. In fact, let me see if I can talk to my in-race reporter there. Cap, what is happening right now? That was the end of the stage? What? Okay, so Slick Blue was able to win that in the 37. Why did people go down pit road there? But they are going to be able to pit under the stage break. Am I correct? So I am unsure why they would still go down pit road right there, especially the 18 if the stage run was right there in front of that. That might not be reading the rules. He might not have known. He was out of gas. Okay, so the 18. So we did talk about that. So the first car that I know that is one lap down and probably will get his lap back will be the 5. Everybody else after that, we do not know. So TCR still 2 for 2 as far as stage wins. BDR, Budget Drunk Racing, is going to have to step it up, but we do know the money lap is going to come here with about 15 laps remaining. Slick Blue in that 37 car and Man of Steel, your stage winners. As we are only under caution here now for the third time. What will we see in this third and final stage? BDR outline and Cooler Than Ice. These guys went down pit road. They were given a Hail Mary. That pit road would have been closed, but through a loophole, they're able to get back up to the point. And BDR in that one car leads them down. Man of Steel switching lanes. The inside line with the advantage is Cooler Than Ice. Trying to drag the brake just a little bit. No, they broke apart in that outside lane. Now the 88 car in the middle. And the inside line now well with the numbers. See Cornbread right behind him. Haven't talked much about him inside the top 5 at all. He's having a great day. And Vet, who was involved in that last caution flag, that last strike that did not bring out a caution flag, has rebounded nicely up to 3rd place as well. Inside line dramatically with the advantage. And how many laps to go coming across the track there, Cap? We'll find out here. There's some momentum building in that outside lane. Man of Steel. Help from Slick Blue. Those are your stage 1 and stage 2 winners. Help from Ross Chastain. There's Cap in that outside line. In fact, TCR all lined up. Nose to tail, 7 cars. That's going to be disastrous for those BDR cars on the inside. Look how well they have hooked up and are taking charge. Man of Steel leading, but here's some help in that inside line. Here comes Tristan in the 9. Might be able to give a big push and a head of steam to the 1 car. They're side by side battling. Now for 2nd place, Man of Steel poking out up front. I believe 15 laps to go. A little more, a little less. That inside line, it is right now, it is BDR versus TCR as Chastain, he moved to the inside of the racetrack, and Slick Blue and the 24 car, oh, in the wall goes Cap in the 3. Gathers it up, will he lose more momentum? He lost a ton of positions right there, and wow, the accordion effect, slinging at least 3 cars below the yellow line, out of the corner. Antwolf poking out of line, in the wall hard goes the 38 in the big one. Right behind him, multiple cars are involved. I will be surprised if that does not bring out the yellow flag here. It does not. Oh man, I saw the 38 car sideways first. Unfortunately, he took others with him. Both Penske cars right there, TCR Snowman, Brewster in the 2. They are not inside the lead pack. This second pack desperately trying to hang on, led by the 42, Spongy, hard-headed, and the 5 as well. Tristan trying to regather some momentum as well, and Hollywood. That is who is leading this pack right now. These guys have got to be nose to tail. If these guys up front get racing side by side, that could allow these guys to get caught back up. But right now you're seeing what is left after that big incident in turn number 3 that did not trigger the yellow flag, and the 1 car BDR, he may not have pitted during that last stage break, and so unfortunately he will have to go down pit road by himself. That is disastrous. What that does though is take out 1 car out of that lead pack. Kind of makes it more evenly matched there, 5 versus 6. These guys, as their setup will allow it, should be able to try and run these guys down. Let's go back up front. Man of Steel continuing to lead there, Slick Blue and Chastain. The 4 car, he is, I believe, is our first BDR car running along in the 4th position, followed by Vet as well, and Antwolf, the tail end of that lead pack. So just 6 cars inside this lead draft currently so far, with a green flag pit stop still needed to be made out of these guys up front. If you're just now joining us here, and I do see a couple of new faces, we have had some incidents on the track that have not triggered the yellow flag. You're seeing the survival basically of the fittest. These guys were able to rebound there, that second pack. And you see them racing so far. That is not going to help them at all. They really need to be single file in order to get caught back up. As a competitor, I've always been like, work toward the common goal. You guys might be racing side by side with one another now, but you need to get caught back up and catch that front pack, them being side by side. And in fact, it looks like somebody perhaps might be going down pit road right there. They're losing even more numbers as the front pack inhales. BDR. Outline. He is now the first car 1 lap down. 4 cars, and unfortunately that adds even lap down, that adds a second car to that first pack. So now you have 7. 6 fighting for position, but 7 cars in total versus the 4 cars in the back. But here comes the 1 car, BDR. He might be a lap down, but he'll still help his teammates, and you see the 4 and the 7 car have went with him. Look at Chastain there in that 77 trying to side draft there. We haven't talked much about that, but side draft does work in this game. You can get close enough. You can get right on that quarter panel there. It pulls that car back, kind of acting like a parachute. It's enough to slow him down as the yellow flag is out. Caution with less than 10 to go, and a green flag pit stop still needing to be made. So what I talked to you guys about at the beginning of this race, now that becomes ever more important, because the guys that have already gone down pit road, they probably do not need to go down pit road the rest of the race. Unfortunately, these guys that were up front racing in this lead pack, they still do. So that caution flag changes everything. That is a big moment in this race. Cap, how many laps are we coming to go to here? Okay. So this does bottleneck everybody back up, but we do know everybody in this front pack will need to go down pit road. They cannot make it unless we have more yellow flags, and even that will be borderline. All right, so 6 to go. Chastain on the bottom of the racetrack, and Brewster, excuse me, no, that was the 4 car, almost getting into him. A lot of shuffling in the back of the pack. There's Vet off course. A lot of these guys, more trouble spinning is the 38 car. That is the 3rd time we've seen him around. Not having a good day at all. And the fight for the inside line begins. These guys, I'm telling you now, it's got to be close on fuel. See the 77 car, he'll root the 48 out of the way, and now these guys are going to go down pit road. Will they be assessed a penalty? Will we see a yellow flag? A lot of these guys, you saw the 4 Cornbread slam into the wall heading into pit road to make sure he did not get assessed a penalty there. .43, 5 laps to go here. And I'm still concerned about fuel for these guys that have not pitted. I'm not, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure the first car that was on pit road right there. I believe it may have been, we do know the 1 car, he may still be a lap down though. The 42 might be somebody that we're watching in the 18 and the 00. Those guys were involved in that caution flag. As we see the 37 of Slick Blue, he'll peel out right now. These guys are in desperate need of a yellow flag to come out once they are on pit road. But the 24, the 13, the 77, these guys have not yet, with 4 laps remaining, they still need to they cannot make it on fuel, and a green flag pit stop must be made. There's BDR. Outline 96 in that 1 car. First car, I know that we had already gone down pit road there. He may have been given To be honest, I don't know if he's on the lead lap. That's what I'm worried about. The 13 and the 24 have not. 24 car, he's usually very good about saving fuel, but I think he has to bail out right now. He's spinning right in front of the pack. It gets run over by the 00. Man of Steel, stage 1 winner around out of turn 4. That did not trigger the yellow. The 1 is in front of the 22 and the 77. Cap, if you can hear me, can you tell me who the leader is? What's the big dot on the screen? I'm sorry, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not sure. You see TCR and the 77. I believe this is a battle for the lead, so we're going to find out. Snowman is in first place, so that is your lead car, control car. Can he make it on fuel? The 77 of Chastain right behind him. And the 1 car, BDR, the first BDR car there in third place. These guys are dropping like flies. Now, the 77 car. Go ahead and say that again there, Cap. All right. And Snowman is out of gas. Chastain, who was the pole setter here today, in front of the 1 and Cooler Than Ice. Chastain might be low out of gas. Here comes Cooler Than Ice in the 1 right in front. Here goes Cooler Than Ice in the 1 car to take the lead. The 18 is up front. This is a dramatic shuffling of strategy here. The 1 car gets around the 77, but Cooler Than Ice is going to have the lead. Will it be enough? I believe we are coming to, if so, maybe 2, if not the white flag here, and the 1 car is in front, or excuse me, right behind him. How many laps to go there, Cap, do you know, if you're on the lead lap? BDR is the leader right now? Oh, he's the winner! Oh, I'm so sorry there. Yeah, it was. So, the 1 car. My goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. Unfortunately, that's just what, with no running order, you see these guys, a frantic run. We saw the 1 car pit, BDR outline 96. He had decided to pit before that last caution flag, and now the 1 car is going to win, and Bunch of Drunks Racing gets it done. The 77 car ran out of fuel, and that was all she wrote. The 1 car back to victory lane. Your Cap giving congratulations to the 1 car there. Kurt Busch, who you remember had a wild ride the last time we were here at Talladega in the real world there on top. His teammate, or excuse me, not on top of his teammate, but on top of Cole Custer and the 14. But BDR outline 96, one of the captains there for a bunch of drunks racing there. He played strategy. It worked out in his favor. He had pitted. We had talked about how he pitted by himself, and I was kind of questioning that, like, is that something you want to do? But unfortunately, with that late race yellow flag, that allowed his strategy to work perfectly. Everybody else still had to go down pit road. He was able to stay out, and now we are joined by our winner here in that 1 car in BDR. Unfortunately, there was a lot going on the last couple of laps. We didn't know who exactly was on the lead lap there. I didn't know if you were on the lead lap there myself until just there at the end. But at the last turn of the last lap, the 77 car runs out. You're able to get the win. Walk us through your strategy in getting to the point there, because you pitted by yourself, not knowing you'd be able to outlast everybody else there when that yellow flag came out.
Well, honestly, man, I saw it was the last lap. I knew I was going to get black flagged, and I was on pit road the stage before, and it didn't count my pit. So I had to come in 4 laps in, and I was like, okay, this is what I got to do. So I took the black flag, took everything I needed to do, and then that caution came out right at the end. I mean, it was hard racing from everybody. It was bumping. It was bumping and grinding. Everyone had really fast cars, you know. But BDR pulled it out. Strategy played off at the end, and I'm really glad for our guys. We won. I want to thank Capilar and TCR for coming out and racing with us. They did an amazing job. I mean, like I said, it was hard racing. A lot of us are friends outside of these two teams. We race with each other, and I got to give props to these guys for having fast cars.
They did have a great race here so far. We didn't see the yellow flag as much as we saw with incidents on the racetrack. Did see a moment between you and the 22 there on the backstretch. Walk us through what happened there. Just a little frustration between you guys.
22 and I just kept bumping and hitting each other. He hit me. I wasn't happy with him. I hit him back. We were racing side by side. You know, it's hard racing. You know, it's hard racing. There's heated tempers. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt at first we were being dragged on the brake, and our guys are fast, and we were like, okay, we need to figure out what's gonna happen. Like, we had a game plan move, everything like that. Like I said, it was bumper to bumper racing, door to door racing. Everybody at the end, you know, tempers are high, everything like that. But at the end, it was actually a pretty good race. I was happy with the result.
All right,
Hey,
so you're hearing
Outline.
from our winner
Appreciate
there.
it.
Let's talk to who I believe would have finished second. I don't know if he officially finished second there, but Chastain, I do know. Man, you were oh so close. You just needed a gallon more gas.
Only horseshoes and hand grenades are close, man.
It was crazy out there.
I was out of it. It was.
Walk us through just the strategy there and talk about not being able to pit during the yellow flag, because that is a big thing. And we talked about that. I talked about that in my notes right here about how a late race caution flag could change the complexion of this race. And that's exactly what happened there. Unfortunately, you just weren't able to capitalize there. You just needed one more lap.
Yeah, I raced a little harder than I should have, you know, out front, and I like to push cars and let ride in the back, but you know, I ran out of fuel. It happens. You know, we'll get them next time.
All right, so that was the 77 car. Don't know who officially finished second. I just know that was one of the guys there. We were hearing from BDR and TCR. Those are also captains of these leagues as well. So congratulations is in order.
Can I say
BDR
one thing,
outline
Alex?
96. And, oh, yeah, go ahead. You won.
Hey, man, I want to thank all the brothers at Bunch of Drunks Racing, BDR. Y'all came out with amazing cars. This came together last minute, like 2 days ago, and everyone showed up and showed out. So thank y'all for watching.
It was definitely a good race here, and something that we look forward to bringing you perhaps later on in the future on a multitude of tracks, maybe in Daytona. But this is the first time I've been a part of something like this, and a lot of racing, unfortunately, you know, due to the restrictions in place by NASCAR Heat 5, the fact that we don't have a leaderboard, we were unable to truly figure out all the strategy that was happening and who was in the lead lap during that long green flag run. But in the end, we were able to show you the leader and why he was able to win, and I think I was able to bring that to you, hopefully fairly coherently. So congratulations again to Bunch of Drunks Racing. They've been the winner of race number 1. We'll have to go down. I'd like to see 2 out of 3. TCR, they're hungry. They won the first 2 stages there. You know these guys are bound to get a win here anytime I race with them. It's great, intense competition. So congratulations to Throttle Control Racing as well. And congratulations to everybody. It's not easy for esport racing to put 20 guys on the track and not have a yellow flag every lap. These guys were doing it at 200 miles an hour on the biggest stage here. So I don't want to understate that. What we saw here tonight was some pretty good, clean racing and a dramatic finish to end this one. From all of us, and by all of us, I mean just from me here, from BDR and TCR, I hope you guys had a great, fabulous Friday night. We'll see you guys next time right here on NASCAR Heat 5.